104.9 Coyote Country. Good morning. It's Robert Miguel here with you on a beautiful Fanboy Friday. 8:30, which means it's time to check in to Dallas, Texas. Professional Q&A moderator and speaker, film critic at BigFanboy.com, the show director at Dallas Comic Show. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up for Mark Walters. Good morning, sir.
What is up, Robert?
Man, just doing my thing, chicken wing. How you doing, man?
Good. I'm good. It's been an interesting week with the weather and just trying to get acclimated to that and get ready for the weekend.
You know, it's been fairly consistent down here, but yeah, Dallas has kind of been swinging back and forth, right?
Yeah, one day it'll be in the 80s, and then the next day it'll be like down in the 30s. Like, you just never know what it's going to be. It's really fun, let me tell you.
Yeah, you know, and as we get older, you know, the immune system gets a little, you know what I mean, rockier, and then of course there's spring allergies, and man, it's just a mess. I tell you what, I don't miss it at all.
Yeah.
Well, I know the big release this week is going to be Rampage, so I know you've seen that one. Let's talk all about that bad boy, okay?
Absolutely, yeah. I had a blast with this. You know, I was a big fan of the original arcade game.
Absolutely, yeah.
And I remember when I first heard about this movie, I think the first thought that went through my head, probably like a lot of people, was, how in the heck are they going to adapt that arcade game and make it into a movie? And somehow they have managed to do just that. It actually really does kind of work. Now, for those of you that are familiar with the arcade game, you might remember that the basic crux of it was that there were three monsters, and you could choose one of the three monsters, climb buildings, and destroy them.
I know.
While also getting bonus points for eating people, knocking tanks around, knocking helicopters out of the sky. Big difference between the game and the movie is that in the game, the monsters were actually humans that had drunk a serum that caused them to turn into a monster. Whereas in the movie, it's just animals that were exposed to a chemical that caused them to grow big and monstrous.
Okay.
So that's really probably the biggest difference, and plus the fact that the character that The Rock plays was never a character in the game. But they found a way to, you know, still make the story work. And, yeah, it's surprisingly a lot of fun. There's a lot of aspects of this movie that kind of made me think of, like, if I was a kid, like a 10-year-old kid, and I was watching this on cable TV, this would be my perfect movie. Like, I mean, there's so many things about it that are just fun and entertaining. The characters are great. You know, they really, I think it's one of those films that it knows what it is. It knows that it's just kind of a big, dumb movie, and it doesn't try to really pretend to be anything other than that. So if you can just sort of switch your brain off a bit and go in there and just expect a good time, just have fun with it, it's a blast, man. I really, really enjoyed it.
Well, I mean, it looks like just a wonderful action movie. The Rock is always entertaining. And, of course, based on an 80s video game, you know, with really, you know, lo-fi graphics. I mean, what's not to like about this? Plus, it's a big weekend for Jeffrey Dean Morgan, who's in this movie, and also we're getting ready for the season finale of The Walking Dead. So, wow, huh?
Yeah, I wanted to make sure and mention, too, because this movie actually does have a really good cast in it. You've got, of course, Dwayne Johnson in the lead. Naomi Harris, who you probably remember from the Bond movies, played Moneypenny.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Malin Akerman, who we're used to seeing as kind of playing this very seductive, very likable blonde. In this movie, she's playing a brunette, sort of corporate, for lack of a better term, bitch.
You know, I'm going to say real quick, though, Malin Akerman, dude, I mean, I love her in just about everything. Of course, she was in, The Watchmen? Just awesome. And remember Rock of Ages, where she played that Rolling Stone reporter? In the 80s, I guess. Just what a cool. She's just one of those chicks that. Excuse me, you know, I'm going to call her a chick. I'm sorry. I know it's not PC, but she just seems like a cool chick that just doesn't mind just kind of acting the fool. You know what I mean? Just kind of doing a lighthearted role for fun. You know?
Yeah. Well, what I love about her, what I've always liked about her, is that she's someone that also, like, she'll pop up in like these outrageous Comedy Central shows that, you know, you would think would be kind of beneath her. But she's, you know, the kind of person that I think she just appreciates, you know, fun roles, and I think she also has a good appreciation for comedy. And even though the character she's playing in this movie is kind of a ruthless, cutthroat corporate type, there's still, you know, a comedic element to it. And I think that she probably read it and appreciated it and thought, yeah, this will be a fun role to play. And so it's kind of cool to see someone like her playing a role like that maybe you wouldn't otherwise expect to see her in. But as you mentioned as well, Jeffrey Dean Morgan actually plays a big part of this movie. And there's kind of an interesting sort of character twist to him that I was a little bit surprised by. But I think he's great in this film, and he gets a lot of really good lines, a lot of very funny lines in the movie that people were reacting very well to. I've always liked Jeffrey Dean Morgan. I think he's a terrific actor. I think he's that one role away from being a leading man. I don't know why it hasn't happened, but he's so close to being that. And in this movie especially, I think you can kind of get a sense of, just how close he gets to that. But he's terrific here. And so, yeah, if you like him on The Walking Dead, I think especially if you like him on The Walking Dead, you're going to like him in this movie because the way he's playing this character it's very similar to how he plays Negan on The Walking Dead, just in terms of kind of the southern drawl and kind of the attitude that he has.
He's got the swagger, man. He's all about the swagger. I love him.
Yeah.
Well, man, it sounds like an exciting movie. Again, that's Rampage, starring Duane "The Rock" Johnson, in theaters today. Anything else you got for us to talk about?
No, it's been kind of a light week. I mean, obviously, I'm sure you guys have probably seen there's been some stuff in the news about Stan Lee and how there's some questionable living conditions there. I don't want to go on record saying anything, but I just want to say that just because things appear okay or because someone has him make videos where he says he's okay, there's a lot bigger story going on here. And I think that we should all be very concerned about Stan and his present living conditions. If you're the kind of person that's inclined to pray, I would say a prayer for Stan. He's 95 years old, and I strongly feel he is not in the best hands right now. So, and as someone who has worked with Stan off and on for 20 years, I've worked with him very closely at conventions. It kind of breaks my heart to see the present condition that he's in right now. He deserves, if anything, he deserves to be able to sit back, relax, and just enjoy the final days of his life. And that's not what's happening right now, and it's very, very sad. So if you are the kind of person that says prayers, please say a prayer for Stan Lee, and let's hope that the situation in some way gets better, because right now it is not good.
I absolutely agree. I've read a few of the stories, and the whole thing it's so... The players, the bad actors in this story, it's like something that probably a movie will be made of it one day, because it just seems so far-fetched and crazy. Like, you know what I mean? Something Hollywood would dream up. But yes, everybody pray for Stan. I mean, he's given us so much joy over the years. It sucks to see him, in his twilight years being handled like this. It's terrible.
Well, I'll just say this much without really going into any more detail. The guy that's been shooting the videos of him trying to say he's okay, that guy, his biggest claim to fame was about 7 years ago trying to sell a Marilyn Monroe sex tape.
Ah, okay.
Tell you.
Yeah, that's all you need to say. That's right. Hey, on a lighter note, real quick before I let you go, the new Solo trailer looks pretty good. Give me your 2 cents on that, man, because I'm getting excited, man. Solo soon.
Yeah, we posted that early this week, and I think it's definitely a vast improvement over the last trailer.
Yeah.
I think that they realized that last trailer wasn't really doing justice to the film, and they decided to cut together something that was more fun and kind of almost has a tone like something like maybe Guardians of the Galaxy. It looks like a more fun ride of a movie. And, I will say that I feel a lot better about it now after seeing that trailer than I felt about it when I saw the first one. So I'm kind of looking forward to it. I hope it's good. I really do. I mean, that's a production that was unfortunately plagued by problems. It's one of those movies that I think it has all the ingredients to be a disaster, but I'm hoping that it will surprise us, and I'm hoping it will be entertaining. And I definitely agree with you. I think that new trailer looks a lot better than the first one.
Well, if you haven't done so yet, everybody needs to go visit bigfanboy.com. Check out the brand new trailer for Solo, a Star Wars story, obviously the origin story of Han Solo. So very cool. All right, man. Well, anything else on bigfanboy.com worth mentioning before I let you go, buddy?
Just a couple of new trailers up there. Check out the trailer for Dark Crimes. It's a new crime thriller with Jim Carrey where he's playing very much against type. There's a couple other new trailers up there. Just check out the site, see what you think. If you have a hot tip on anything, be sure to send us an email. There's a little link on there to send us an email. And That's all I got. Just getting ready for the weekend.
All right, once again, let's give it up for professional Q&A moderator and speaker, film critic at BigFanboy.com, and the show director at Dallas Comic Show. Once again, let's give it up for Mark Walters. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Robert.
104.9 Coyote Country. Good morning. It's Robert Miguel here with you on a beautiful fan.